I show you the slides now. So for today, we're going to cover two chapters, chapter 9 and chapter 10. Okay?
Doctor,
Yes.
can I ask you a question?
Mm-hmm.
For the final exam,
Mm-hmm.
what slide range the final exam?
Okay, for the final exam, the coverage will be the first six chapters. I mean, the first six lectures. The first six lectures.
Okay.
Okay, so you look at the pro forma. So it would be the first six lectures. All
Okay. Thank you.
right.
You mean 4 to 6?
The first six lectures, not chapters.
Oh,
So
okay, okay.
okay. So I'm sharing you the chapter 9 notes in the chat. Okay, so uh shall we start now? I think everyone is here. So we're going to start on time today so that we can finish a bit earlier. So for basically what we're going to look into this week is chapter 9 and chapter 10. Okay. So in chapter 9, we'll be looking at how we actually uh, need to manage and visualize data. Okay. So especially nowadays, it's all about data. We have a lot of, you know, data that we can capture through online. Businesses can collect data through online. So how can we actually how these businesses actually can manage and visualize this data, okay, to be more to be turned into more meaningful informations. So throughout this chapter, you'll be looking at what are the types of data and what are the criteria to actually to help us to evaluate the informations, okay. And of course there will be ways to actually to choose specific data visualizations on a specific business uh, situations or events, okay. So for the purpose of today's chapter, please scan. Okay, please scan the QR code s- where you'll be led in to the activity. Okay, for today's. So for these activities, you have to submit. Okay, so you have to submit for your attendance lah for today. Okay, so I will check one by one the attendance for today. Uh, so this activity you can actually do or discuss together with your group mate or group members, where at the end of I think I only will give you around 20 minutes lah, okay, 20 minutes to finish up this activity, and then you'll be ready to present whatever data that you have, okay. So make it um nicely, okay, so that you can present it in the class later. Okay, any questions? Can you scan it now?
No,
Also,
doctor, I
also,
can't see your
oh,
slide.
sorry, I haven't shared the slide. Okay, again, I repeat again. So, in this chapter, managing and visualizing data, okay, we'll be looking at what are the types of data, right? And what would be the effective questions and data visualizations for certain business situations and events. Okay, so for the purpose of this chapter, you guys need to scan this QR code, and you will get access to the activities. Okay, chapter 9 activities. Let me know if you cannot see the activities. So this is basically what you're going to get. Okay, do you get the same thing?
Yes.
This is answer, sorry. Questions, this one. Okay, so basically, you have to analyze this infographic. We call it as infographic. So a lot of companies, businesses now, they use more images, infographic in delivering a messages. Okay, so this is one of the example. So what you need to do is you have like 10 minutes to carefully read through the chapter 9 that I shared to you. And please pay attention on the visualizing data. Okay, so after reviewing the notes, based on the images, based on the infographic that you can see, I want you to observe and prepare your opinion on the key differences between these two infographics. Okay, so basically you have to consider what are the purpose of these informations, what they are trying to convey, and from your opinion, how effectively they can actually apply the principle of the good infographic. Okay, so there's no link here. So you actually need to submit your answers, and you have 20 minutes lah, basically, to prepare your answer. Uh, sorry, I share you the link first for you to submit. Uh, the submission is just for the purpose of what we call uh eh sorry, what is it? Okay, while waiting for this, I'm still looking for the link. Any questions? Do you have any questions? Okay, I shared you the link. Okay, so you have roughly 20 minutes to do this. Okay, any questions? Song Wenshens, Wenjiayu, Fidaus,
No
Zhu,
question,
Howard?
doctor.
No questions. Okay, so I leave it you guys to do this first. 10 minutes and to read through and 20 minutes to discuss, yeah? Okay? 30 minutes lah. Pizza. So make sure everyone's submitting. Yeah, I'm checking the submission now. Okay, please submit. Okay, can you guys please submit now? Then I need Lisa to Lisa, are you there, Lisa? Or if not, any volunteer? Volunteer get one. Volunteer.
Doctor, so basically this is the presentation of group kan? Macam kita kena present on a group team members, right?
Individual. You can work with your group members now. Okay, let's see individual.
Individual?
Uh-uh.
I thought tadi macam doktor cakap discuss this on a group.
Yes, yes.
Lepas tu nanti present with a group macam tu.
You're not present group, only share. It's up to you.
Sebabnya tadi macam dengar macam tu sebab dia kata make a team members and discuss about this. So I thought macam kena buat in a group discussion and then present pun in a group macam tu.
Kan kita apa? So kalau kita,
Alamak doktor tak dengar.
hello?
Dah ada dengar.
Dengar? I tak tahulah what's wrong. Okay.
Dengar.
Boleh so okay je kalau I call Miza, you boleh je the whole team boleh present. As long I nak tengok you punya whatever progress lah yang you did just now. Okay, boleh? Zakira? Dengar ke? Ke tak dengar ni?
Dengar.
Ada.
Okay. Faham?
Faham
Sekejap. Miza.
Oh wait, okay. Can you hear me now? No?
Ya,
Can
boleh.
you hear me? Okay. That in fact there. Let me see first. So, in our opinion, for the differences between the two infographics or visualizing the data would be this is for this is our opinions as a group. So if it's clashes of the points, so I'm sorry. But first, the left infographic focuses on creative and conceptual design process for content marketing. It covers tasks like design, copywriting, planning, and editing. The right infographic focuses the strategic marketing life cycle, which includes management, strategy, and audit focus. Whereas the clear differences between two infographics is the usage of colors in the design. Infographic on the left highlights the information with grading of soft colors, whereas the infographic on the right uses bold colors. For clarity, infographic on the left provides clean segmentation and no visual distraction. It's easier to read and interpret quickly, especially with its light and neutral color palette. Also, the wheel style and grading color of infographic on the right makes it visually appealing, slightly less clear is it has a sense of depth and also makes some sections harder to read due to curvature, shadows, and overlapping. Design-wise, infographic on the left are either for public reports, training materials, or internal communication, meanwhile infographic on the right suited for presentations or marketing purpose. Whereas for the steps, the left graphic appears to follow a storyboard progression from concept to execution, and the right graphic explains campaign cycles with a more structured and strategic flow, clearly designed to aid comprehension. Um, that's the opinion for our group doctor. I'm sorry if it's unclear.
Okay, all right. Thank you. Thank you, Miza's group. Okay, so
Yeah.
I need another group to present as well. Uh, can I have a group from Zhangran? Zhangran, are you there?
Yes, doctor.
Can you share your work, please?
Okay, wait a minute.
Hello, hi.
Wait a minute, doctor. I share my screen.
Okay.
Hello, doctor. Can you see my screen?
Yes. But I didn't see your work.
Okay, wait a minute.
Okay.
Okay. The left picture aims to instruct creative content development progress. It outlines steps such as staging, copywriting, design, and publishing. The purpose is to showcase the company's internal workflow for delivering content and band service. And the red picture shows a strategic marketing circle include um, agents analyze messaging automation testing and reporting the purpose to present a follow date driven marketing approach likely targeting slash or stakeholders interested in uh, measurable results. And the left pictures tabs is the information is mostly qualitative focus on service and creative stage. It is concert and descriptive without numerical dates or metricals. And the red picture also logs members. It covers analytical and operational components. It refers to tools like analytic uh, Dominic graph in sales and company management, including a more quantitative or performance-oriented focus. Um, and next, um, the uh, 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 the the left picture are very clear. Words is very easy to read, and the right shows the progress more clear with arrows, and the red picture have three colors, and on the left picture use only blue and uh, deep blue and yellow. It looks clean, um, but a little boring. But the red picture use three colors and it's three different colors, so it can catch our eyes and looks very funny. The first picture shows steps in straight lines. The red shows us four circle. Um, it can help us to understand. Um, on the left picture use some simple accounts, and the right picture use colorful shapes, and it make every part very clear. Um, the left picture just show us some task, but uh, the right can show us about testing reports and some analyze. Uh, the red can give us more useful information. Um, so I think the right picture is more effective. It uses three different colors and can help us to understand a different part. And the circle shape can show the progress very clear. It shows us some date like testing and reporting is very important for the market, and is very interesting that we can understand. Um, the left picture is very clear, but it only use just two color, blue and yellow. So I think it's a little simple, and it doesn't show any results or date. So I don't think is not strong for business communication. So I think the red is more useful information. Okay.
All right. Okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you for both presenters. I think you guys have a very good informations. You shared very good information just now. Okay, so I will share mine with yours. Gonna. Okay, can you see the screen I share?
Yes, doctor.
Yes. Okay. Good. All right. Okay. So for this graphic. Okay. So this is another example of the how some businesses are actually sharing or delivering the informations. Okay. About whatever they are doing, the services that they are providing. Okay. So this is the example of what we call as circular. Okay. It's circular, right? So this is what we call it. So it's a circular infographic where you can see that both of these infographic, they are presenting or featuring their logo. So this is the logo. This is the official logo of the company. Okay, IGW at the center. Okay, so basically these infographic are designed to a market. Okay, so means it's a publicly available. Okay, to market the company services. Okay, to market. So means that they are using this infographic to promote. Okay, to promote their services by visually representing a different stages. Okay, so what you see here is a stages. Okay, so I believe that both presenters has mentioned that just now, all the components of their work, right? So if we focus on the what we call the left side of the infographic. Okay, so this left side, as you can see, uh okay, we focus on this left side. Okay, this one. So as you can see, this left side of the infographic, it's focusing more on the uh, initial what we call initial phase lah. Okay, initial phase of the service delivery. Right. So as mentioned by both of the presenters, it's actually divided into different sections here. So we can see clearly it involves researching, planning, copywriting, So these are all what we call the processes lah, okay, or the strategies. And basically the overall structure suggests the workflow. Okay, so suggest the workflow that moves from the strategic planning to the conceptual development and finally to the design. Okay, so this one is the first phase, and then conceptualizations and design. All right, so that is how they are showing the workflow of the services. Okay, the next one on the right side. So this is the executions and ongoing management aspect of the service of all the campaign. As you can see, we can see the main what we call process here is strategy and audits, campaign build, and also the management. So it also be divided into different sections, as you can see, and this actually suggests that the process involve the strategic planning, okay, all campaign creations and continuous management and optimizations. Okay, so this is all what the infographic about. Okay, so basically now we were looking at uh, these chapters lah. Okay, these chapters, the focus of this chapter is about the purpose and the design principle. All right, so whatever you see just now, hold on. Okay, so based on chapter 9, this infographic is actually exemplify several principle. Okay, the first one we call it as clarity and accuracy. So as you the first principle is to ensure that uh, the business or the company should aim to present a complex services. For example, here is quite complex services, but offering a very clear and easily just digestible visual format. So instead of they just come out with the very lengthy information, very lengthy wording to describe on their services or whatever services that they're offering. Instead, they just come out with a very clear and accurate visual format. Okay, so that is the first principle. Secondly, we're talking about design, right? So the design is is one of the what we call important principle where uh, the use of different colors, as you can see here. Okay, this now your presenters mentioned about the colors that been used. Okay, so that is another principle. All right, so the use of different colors for different sections are very, very important. Okay, to ensure that uh, the audience knows the difference. Like for this one, okay, under the strategy and audits, the processes are being colored with green. And then you can see that there are a number here. So I mean this is the first one, the first process, second and third. Okay. So the this central logo actually demonstrate what we call a very thoughtful design. Okay, a very thoughtful design. Okay, and the next one is the next principle is storyboarding and graphic. Okay, so this is another important principle where we just based on this graphic, okay, it tell us something. There's a story that 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 we understand, so the circular here that been used, the circular, okay, we call it circular flow here, that implies the storyboarded process and the divisions into segments, okay, as you can see with all those text labels that explain the data, right? So this is another principle. We call it a storyboarding. So just by looking at this, okay. So just by looking at this graphic or infographic, we know, okay, what is the story that the company or business try to highlight, okay, or what's the story that they try to tell us. Okay, and the last one is the benefits. Okay, when it comes to the benefits, as highlighted in chapter 9, infographic are very beneficial. Okay, to show a large amounts of information into a small space, or making it more efficient and interesting. So, like I mentioned, rather than just put all the informations that is lengthy, uh, now with the infographic, with this graphic, it helps to put or to summarize all the information into small space and make it more interesting lah. Okay, interesting than narrative text. So what we can get from here as a reader, we it will help to improve what we call as comprehensions, and then we can emphasize certain data, and most importantly is to create interest and saving time and space. So we can see that this visual provide a very impactful impact to the readers, right? So that is that is basically uh, how we can actually explain the purpose and design principle. So in chapter 9 here, you can see that there's a few sources of data. So I just focus on a few things. Okay, so where we have two types of data. So this is very important when you do analysis or when you do what we call uh, research, when you want to analyze the thing. So you have to know that there are two different types of data. One is numerical, we call it as quantitative. So this involves numbers, okay, 1, 2, 3, okay. So that is numerical, and we also have the qualitative data. So this is mostly a descriptive data, it's more texting, okay, a descriptive data. So these are the two types of the data, and we have all the sources of the sources of data might be coming from either secondary or primary. So primarily, normally, the interview is a primary data because it's coming. It's a first source that coming from the individual that speak lah. Okay, and the secondary data might be the data that been collected through the the website, okay, internet, right? So that is a secondary data. Any questions so far?
No question, doctor. It's clear.
All right. Okay, so if there's no questions, I just go through very fast for this chapter. So these are an example of the secondary data. So you can either get it from published and or unpublished. So when you do your group assignment, make sure you can access all this, what we call secondary data. All right, try to access from all the reliable, public and readily available articles. Okay, or those kind of unpublished one where you have to look into completely. This one unpublished one is quite impossible lah. Okay, so because it's only available to the insiders. So if let's say you are doing a very high impact research, maybe you represent the Kementerian Economy, the Ministry of Economy, the Ministry of Finance, so you might get all these informations, but of course you require uh, an official letter for that. Okay. So this is another types of sources of data. Okay, so please ensure that you can recognize some of the bias problems. Okay, uh, and survey is one of the ways. Surveys for data collection. This is one of the ways we collecting data. So I think most of you know, and most of you have done this before. I think in our class as well, I always ask you to to attempt those surveys and questions. Okay, so that is how we actually can get the data from. Okay, um, and then we have a few types of surveys. So mostly the one that you did is multiple questions, right? You just need to answer I agree or not agree. Okay, but there are some types of surveys that involve open-ended questions. So for open-ended questions, you can get more what we call more in-depth responses. Okay, but somehow this open-ended question require more time and expertise to analyze. Yeah. Okay. Okay. All right. Uh, so I think that's it for chapter 9. So visualizing data I already covered just now. Okay, so some of other ways to actually to visualize is using the table instead of the infographic or images or visual. All right. So this is basically some other ways to visualize your data. So after you collect data, how you going to convert those raw data into more meaningful information? So by just looking at those, Excels, right? After you collect the data, is you can't really get into the how meaningful the data is unless you transfer those raw data into graph or chart. Okay, so you can see what we call some trends, or maybe for the bar chart you can see increasing or decreasing pattern. Okay, or the line chart we can see whether it's correlated or not correlated. Okay, so these are the types of the visual that you can use uh, what we call to transform your raw data into more meaningful informations. So other than that is infographic. So this is what we have discussed just now, okay, during the activity. So after you have all these, visual, you need to we analyze and presenting the data. So make sure that all the data you have to making sense of it, because you need to know what what your data is for you to interpret those data. Okay. So these are the things that you could ask yourself. What are the trends? What is there any information that you are it is very unexpected? Okay, so these are the things. And please make sure that you have to avoid a misleading in the data presentations. Okay, so these are some of the what we call misleading data presentation, where some of us will tend to do what we call as cherry picking. Cherry picking means you only select data that to support your arguments. So this is wrong. So you might mislead the data. And then comparing apples to oranges. So this is what the things that I always mention in the class, where we do comparisons. We have to compare between apples to apples. We cannot compare with the things that uh, are totally different lah. All right. And then data analysts, they tend to polish the data to make the data looks better. So this one you have to be very careful, because when you do the data analysis, whatever interpretation or whatever output that you get, there is no wrong and right. So it's all depending on the respondents now, because we are collecting the data from the respondents. So some researcher, they might get what we call significant, some are getting insignificant results. Okay, so there's no wrong and right. So don't polish your data to make it better, to look it better, to manipulate the data to look the data better. Okay, so this is activity. Okay, so that's all for chapter 9. So I think we don't need a break, because we have another chapter. So for chapter 10, this is important for your assignments. Okay, so you're going to submit a group assignment at the end. So you have to look into how to appropriately reporting your data. Okay, please look into the format and organizations, and then please make sure that you know what are the typical components of the business report and the writing style, especially. So please maintain a very standard, appropriate academic writing style, and most importantly, for your level, you have to have your citation. Citation means whatever you write, you want to support your findings, you cite, okay, with other facts, okay. So these are the things that you will learn in this chapter. So for this chapter, I want you to scan this scan. Oh, macam mana nak remove ni notations. Okay, can you scan? Inshira, were you able to scan?
Yes, doctor.
Yes, okay, good. So again, you're going to have like 30 minutes to do this activity, and then I will call a name, okay, to present whatever you have, and please submit this as well. Submit this activity, okay, to the link provided. For chapter 9, just now I only received 23 submissions. So I have around how many students here? I have around 29. So it means that there are a few more students haven't submitted. Can you please submit that now? Okay, after you're done, please proceed with chapter 10 activities. Okay, and I will come back to you after half an hour.
So doctor, this discussion have to be in a group too, right?
Can. Boleh. You can do it in a group.
Doctor, we
Yeah.
cannot see the chapter 10.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Sorry. I share it in the chat. The Teams chat, huh? Chapter 10. Okay. All right. Okay. Can you access to the notes?
Oh, yes.
Okay. So before we moving on to presentation, the time's up already. So can you please make sure you submitting the chapter 9 activity? Because the submission will be recorded, yeah? Okay. So submissions only will be accepted not later than before we finish our class today. So please make sure before we proceed to chapter 10 activity, please submit, yeah? Yeah. Okay, for chapter 10 activity, can I hear from Alisa's group? Alisa, can you share your answer?
Doktor.
Okay, dengar. Okay, I can hear you. Okay, whenever you're ready, yeah, Alisa, let me share.
Hello, Doctor. Can you see my screen? Okay, so for chapter 10, the first question is, how does the design change for the different audience? Individual
Alisa,
reading?
sorry Alisa, can
Yes.
you make it bigger? Boleh big lagi tak?
Um,
For use screen daripada phone
daripada phone.
Tak boleh. Okay lah, boleh.
Okay. So, so the first question, how does the design, amount of text, visual prominence, layout change for the different audiences? Individual reading, discussion or sales speech, presentation or briefing. So the design of the slides changes a lot depending on who it is meant for. The first one has the most text and detail. It looks like full explanation is on the slide so someone can read and also understand everything without needing more info. The second slide still has solid info but uses bullet points and less text, so it is easier to talk through during a conversation. The last one is very minimal, just a few words and a strong visual, and it is clearly made for someone who is presenting and will explain the rest out loud. The second question, how does each design choice support the audience's understanding of the information given their specific context? So the first slide is made for individual reading because it has more dense text and detailed content, which allows the reader to have a full and deep understanding of the information. The second slide is used for small group discussions or sales speeches because it highlights key messages rather than telling the whole story. It encourages interactions during the discussion process. And the third slide design is meant for large presentations or briefing since it is simple and visual. Audiences listen rather than read This helps them to stay focused and ensure clarity during the presentation. The third question, how do these design choices support the overall purpose of the communication event? So these design choices support the overall purpose of each communication event by matching the level of detail and pacing to the situation. So the detail slide for individual reading supports a thorough review, giving the reader time to explore the full information. The balance slide for small group discussions also supports an interactive conversation, making it easier to explain points and answer questions. So the simple slide for presentation supports a quick overview, helping the audience focus on key messages without getting overwhelmed. And each design helps the message be clear and effective in its specific setting. For the last question, thinking about the entire chapter on writing reports and why is considering deck density and presentation formality so critical for effective business communication. So this is because they directly influence how well our message will be received and understood by all of the audience. So deck density refers to how much information is packed into each slide, and let's say if we choose the wrong density, it can overwhelm or underinform our audience. For example, a high density slide in a formal briefing may confuse listeners, while a low density deck for solo reading may seem too shallow. Then, for presentation formality, it refers to how structured and professional the tone and design need to be. We need to align our presentation's formality with audience expectations to build credibility and improve engagement. A formal setting demands precision, while an informal one values relatability. So, in summary, tailoring slide design to match audience type and communication goal is really essential for effective business communication. And Chapter 10 highlights the strategic design decisions like adjusting slide density, choosing visual layout, and selecting tone are not just only cosmetic but crucial to ensuring the message is understood and acted upon. So the best communicators adapt their tools to the situation, making each report a smart blend of content, structure, and also purpose. So that is all from our group.
Okay, thank you, Lisa. Well done. Okay, so please make sure everyone submit. So let's just have one presentation only. Okay, because we are running out of time now. So the rest please submit so that I can take note, okay, on your submission today. So this is basically as what your friends presented just now. Okay, you are talking about density, yeah. Okay, so as you can see, oh sorry, I haven't shared my slide. Okay, yes, okay. So in chapter 10, we are focusing on uh basically the formatting lah. Okay, we call it as formatting, how to actually uh, visualize or reporting our information. Okay, so uh, the point that we uh, stress or emphasize is basically whatever design, whatever format that you go to is presenting your report or information. Okay, especially your slide deck. Slide deck is the slide deck, we call it a slide deck. So you can strategically adapted to your audience. Okay, so the focus must be on, I think I actually took images or graph, okay, or basically a design last year, a design. We have three different design here, but actually same thing. Okay, the information are actually same. One is same design. Okay, so this is in terms of the target audience and the purpose of friend. Your friend is now on as a friend presenting
Sorry, doctor. I cannot hear you clearly.
You cannot hear me? Can you hear me?
I can hear you, but
Hello?
it's the the sound is so slow and I can't hear you. Me too, doctor.
Slow. Okay, try now. Is it still slow?
No, it's right.
Okay. All right. Okay, I repeat again. Okay, so in chapter 10, we'll be focusing on how to actually, what kind of design should we presenting. Okay, so there's so many different designs that are available that we can choose. Okay, so these designs on how or formatting or how we actually presenting our report or information is basically must be strategically adapted to our audience. Okay, so the main point here is the audience. Who is your audience? And the purpose of the presentation. So as you can see here, we have three different design here. Okay, and these three different design is actually having the all these three design are actually presenting the same info. Same info. So you are talking about benefits for employees. It's just the same info, but in the different ways. Okay. So why? Because of the purpose. The purposes are different for each of these three design based on the who are your target audience. So as you can see, the first one here is focusing on individual. Individual means the design is mainly for the one person's, okay, without any helps, meaning that there are no people presenting to these people, so this individual just read by themselves, okay, and they have to understand whatever that has been presenting by themselves without any other assistance, okay, or presentations or explanations. Okay, while for the second one is the focus one is on more on the discussion or small groups. Okay, small group at the varied pace. All right. And the last one is more on larger group. Okay, so we will go one by one. Okay, I believe that you have I think quite the same answer with mine. Okay, I would like to explain a bit in details. Okay. Okay, the first one. The first one, again, this is the most like density. Okay, so the most like density means this design is what we call as it has a least presentations formality. All right, least presentation formality. So meaning that uh, the purpose is not to present. Okay. So the purpose of this design is not to present. So you just provide this for individual to read it through by themselves. So that is the purpose. Okay. So because of that, this slide has the most text and details, as you can see. So here we have on the left side here, you can see that it's a paragraph full of text here or full of explanations, because again this design is not meant for presentations, means that every individual has to read this by themselves. Okay, so uh, uh, everyone will read this at their own pace, where this will actually help or allows for comprehensive understanding. So with all the lengthy informations, as you can see on the right side, okay, this density is actually allowed for the comprehensive understanding. So what does it mean? Here is the reader can actually absorb all the necessary context and supporting argument without external narrations. All right. So these will actually what we call emphasize, okay, this align with this chapter's emphasis on providing sufficient information. Okay, so that is the main purpose of this design. So the target audience will be the individual without any intentions of presentations. Okay, so the design must ensure that it's provide a sufficient information to support each point when revising the content. Okay, and as you can see, this design is meant for what we call detailed review or self-study. Okay, detail review and self-study. So it's ensured that all relevant data are present, okay, and make the report more self-contained. Okay, so that is the first design. Hold on, I need to edit. Okay. Okay. So it's a report that's self-contained. All right. So the second one, okay, so this is what we call as a mid-slide density. All right, so you can see that we have this design have quite lesser than the first one. Okay, that's why we call it as mild slide density. So as you can see, it for this purpose of the for these design purposes is to actually to avoid any chat junk, and this design try to avoid to overwhelming the audience. Okay, so you can see that they are using this design is using what we call as point. So you can see the bullet point here. Okay, so bullet point here were actually used to summarize the key benefits. Okay, and while retaining the bar chart. So this type of design is meant or suitable for the small group discussion or sales pitch. So maybe you have to pitch this in a very small audience, in a small room. So you can use this type of design. Okay. And as you can see, the bullets will actually provide concise talking points where it's allowed the presenter to elaborate and interact with the audience. So this will actually helps or supports the chapter's discussions on maintaining balance in sections where the language are more clear and simple. Okay. And with that, it helps to actually to spark the discussions and highlight the key benefits. All right. So for the mixed density, okay, it's meant for or the design prompts conversations around the bullet point and chart data rather than audience need to read a very extensive text. Okay, so that's the difference. So the last one, let's look at the last one. So this is the most least slide density. So as you can see here, this is the most what we call as the most presentations formality. So let's say you're having presentations in the conferences. Okay, so where your audience are very big, you have a bigger audience in a very big what we call a venue, you know. So this is the most appropriate design that need to be used to present your report. So we call it as the most minimalist and the most presentations formality. Okay, so you only show what you can see here. You only show the chart with the title, and there's no text and bullet points at all. So this type of report is actually suitable to ensure that audience can focus and remains on the presenter and the visual. Okay, so like I mentioned, this one is very good for the larger group. Okay, and formal presentations where minimal slide density ensures that the audience focus remains on the presenter and visual. Okay, so what does it mean? uh, these types of designs require uh, an oral delivery. So that means that we need a presenter. We need a presenter to explain, okay, to talk about the graph. Okay, so this aligned basically for this chapter to actually to use graphics to complement the report and the benefit of just to improve the reader comprehensive. Okay, so that is how, okay, the difference how we are reporting our information for a different types of audience. Okay, any questions so far? Any questions?
No,
If
no
there's
question.
no questions, okay, good. So here we I just go through very fast. So basically, I will just stress on the important area for this chapter. So this is specifically important for your group assignment where you have to reporting. You have to do all the reporting. You have to submit a report, where we can consider it as a business report. Okay, so this report is the organized. I believe that you guys know what is meant by business report. It's a very organized presentations. Okay, so these are all the criteria. All right, so you please make sure that your report is being presented in the logical order. So you follow with your cover letter, title page. Okay, ensure that all the informations needed are there in the title page, and then table of contents. Okay, a summary. Okay, so please make organize it in a very logical order. And then whatever your justifications or analysis in your report, you should justify, you should support those justification with uh, formal facts and data. Okay, so this is where we're talking about citations, where you need to have citations and list of reference at the end of your report. All right. Okay, so we have a few different types of reports, and you should know what are the difference between uh, all these type of report, because it has a different ways or different designs. Okay. Okay, so we have situational report where you are responding on issues or problems. So this one might be very useful or is applicable to those that work in the customer, customer relationship, customer services, right? And then you have the reports to request on something, you know, to bid on something, to outline the research plan. Okay, so that is under the proposal. And then you also have a report on the request for information where you are formally requesting for background, okay, or preliminary report, right? So by knowing what are the types of the report, you should know how to select. Okay, you should know what will be the report formatting. Yeah. Okay, so when you organize report, make sure at the end of report, you close your report with some findings, conclusions, and recommendations. So these are an example of findings, okay, that you can consider, okay, where you can use stats here, okay, some stats, okay, about your finding. and then you can make a conclusions, okay, from the findings. And of course, you need to provide with some recommendations, okay, for future works. Okay, so drafting, basically be consistent. These are the things that you already know. Okay, headings. Okay, so be careful on the use of the numbering 1.0, 2.0, 3.0. Okay, use the bullets and the titles. Make sure use a very appropriate titles. Keep your heading style consistent. Okay, so you have to be familiar with the Microsoft Words. You know, there's a lot of features that you can use, okay, to ensure your heading styles are consistent. Shorter is better. All right. Make sure you have the subsections. Okay, the number of your subsections in the report. Okay, so this is the things that I mentioned. Start with the title page. If let's say you have a cover note, a summary, table of contents. Okay, if you have some attachment, put it in the appendix. And last is the references. Someone is talking. Any questions?
No question.
No questions. Okay. Okay. So this is an example of the executive summary. Okay, so some of us, if let's say we are presenting, but this is a quite uh, lengthy. Yeah? So we have quite a density here. Okay, so means that this is not meant for the formal presentations. Okay, so it's more on individual. Okay, so this is a example of reference page at the end. Okay, so effective writing, the tone must be professional. Okay, so I know that you have AI as your what we call as a tools to help you, but please don't excessively use the AI. Just use the AI to actually to help you to structure a very professional or natural writing style. Okay, to avoid all those grammatical errors, to do some text checking, all right? And pronounce must be correctly used where you should focus on the information. This one, we have discussed this in the previous class where we have to use the third person, okay? So avoid overusing passive voice. That is very important for the very effective writing, okay? Uh, so this is an example where you can actually use some emphasis or subordinations in your write-up.
Intervention finally. What can the government do?
Uh, okay, please, please unmute your mic.
Finally. Intervention finally. What can the government?
Who is that?
Intervention finally. What can the government?
Okay.
Intervention finally. What can the government do? They use
Sha
tools like.
Shaujalin, can you unmute your mic? Shaujalin. Shaujalin A. Can you please unmute? Sorry, can you please mute your mic? Okay, so this is another important things that I would like to point out where we call it as a stack headings. Okay, some students they love to do a lot of headings here. So this is what we call as a stack headings. Okay, so please avoid this. Okay, please avoid this. So just have like one title heading. That's all, the sections heading.
Intervention.
And then don't do like the stack headings like this. Okay, so too much stack heading is not good. It's not really good for your report. All right, so try to avoid the stack headings. Janine, can you please silent? Can you please mute your mic? All right. Okay, so this is to document your sources. This one, if you use to cite from the references, okay, so make sure you rephrase, or if let's say you want to use a direct quote, make sure you put this apostrophes into the direct quote, okay, and at the end you have to cite the source lah, okay. So this is to avoid the plagiarism. Okay. So this is an example of original quotations. So this is how you write. If you want to take the whole quotations without rephrasing it, so you have to include this, okay, in the original quotations. Okay, I think the rest is the the things that you already know, the page number, the headers, the footers, the spacing, the font types. Okay, so this one you just follow the formal, the very formal one lah. Okay, the formal formatting. Okay, so these are some of the checklists to review your report draft. Please look into your report title. Is it accurate? And then, Xiao Jilian.
郝嘉玲，你的麦克风没关。Your microphone is not turned right.
Government.
Okay. Still not
Government.
muted.
Government.
Can someone call him or text him? All right. So designed and format. Please look at is it you follow the principles of the formal document designed? Is the graphics are appropriate? Is the graphic well explained? Okay, so these are the things that you should look into. Okay, so that's it for chapter 10. Any questions?
No question.
Okay, good. The rest, can you respond? Is there any questions? So please make sure you submit chapter 9 and chapter 10 just now. Attendance, set 19. Today is okay, so the next would be I have switched your presentations with your final quiz, yeah. So final quiz will be online, final quiz. So it's just a the MCQ. So like I mentioned, it will only cover the first 6 chapters, the first 6 lectures. Okay, please scan your attendance now. So we're going to have like presentations right after Raya, okay? Okay, any questions? Okay. Everyone has scanned?
Doctor,
Yes?
I just have the first and the third chapter. I don't have chapter 2, 4 and 5, 6.
Okay. Can you text in the WhatsApp group? Which chapter? WhatsApp group,
Okay.
Okay. The rest
Okay.
you can respond if let's say you have the chapter, you can respond to the message.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay. Other than that, any other questions? No questions? Okay. So if there's no questions, that's all for today. So I'll see you guys next week. So happy holiday, everyone. So be safe and please be back in one piece. Okay. Okay. Bye. Happy holiday, everyone. See you soon.
Thank you, Doctor.
Okay. Welcome.